she would gently wipe his forehead with the cold cloth, and it was almost as if he forgot the pain for a time. If it all went well, he would fall asleep listening to the tale of his blanket, as sleep was becoming his only relief from the pain. "Did you know your blanket went to the moon?" Elise asked one day when her son seemed particularly down. "Neil Armstrong may have been the first man to set foot on the moon, but he laid out your quilt so that he and Buzz Aldrin could have a picnic." The idea of two astronauts having a picnic on the moon resulted in spontaneous laughter for both mother and son. "Is Buzz Lightyear named after Buzz Aldrin?" he asked his mom, as both continued to laugh. "As a matter of fact, he is," Elise replied with a smile. "If you must know, Buzz Aldrin presented your quilt to Buzz Lightyear as a gift, which means your blanket has been to infinity and beyond." "Exactly," Elise confirmed, as she refreshed his cloth and placed it back on his head. Day after day, she would take her boy to the doctors, and then specialists, and eventually the hospital. Then, night after night, she would sit by his bed and tell the story of the quilt. Elise did everything she could to stretch out the story, and as a new adventure was passed from mother to son, so too was hope, and the only way she knew how. The night that she finished the story was, in so many ways, just like most of her other nights. Elise was home in her favorite chair next to her son's bed. Her breathing was labored and her voice unsteady. And then I stopped by a flea market on the way home from a store. And there it was, your beautiful, wonderful blanket, and I knew you must have it. So I scooped it up, paid the nice woman, and brought it home to you. Tears filled Elise's eyes as she sewed the last stitch on the old quilt. Holding it up, she remembered the first time her son covered himself with the blanket. "I love it, how cool it feels when I get into bed." "It's finally fixed. It's perfect," Elise said out loud, tears continuing to flow. "I love how cool it feels too." Summoning every bit of her strength, she laid the beloved blanket on the empty bed in front of her. Being a mom is a job that is never truly finished. At least she had hoped so. With nothing else left to do for her son, she sat back in the chair and silently sobbed. The end. Yoshi, that's a sad bedtime story. What the fuck? Hey y'all, I'm sorry for the sad story without any sort of warning. I didn't know it was sad. No, T, not the NyQuil chicken. Beautiful reading. I'm glad you guys enjoyed my reading. Thank you again, Kalabandu. My voice hurts. Also, dude, why did you go with such a fucking sad thing? Now I feel like crying. I mean, I always feel like crying, but like, dude.